Today we've got a story of a crazy entitled mom throwing racist accusations around at children. We'll get to that in a bit, but first, I bought a VR and my mom won't let me have it for myself. I spent 400 freaking quid on a VR hoping I would be able to play it by myself, no interruptions. I've never been able to have anything for myself except my phone, mom bought, iPad, bio-dad bought, and my guinea pigs, also bio-dad. Any other stuff I had to share. I'm sick of it. I saved up 200 pounds for my birthday and took 250 pounds off my savings. I've always wanted a VR and I finally bought one on Wednesday. I wasn't even able to set it up on my own. My brother was watching me. I hate my family. They've always taken his side. Finally, I set it up. I can't even play for 15 freaking minutes before my brother wants a turn. Soon enough, I buy myself a game. My brother finished nearly all the levels today. I've had enough. Keep in mind, before this, I had told him multiple times to leave that game alone and that it's mine. I yelled at him since my parents wouldn't and he started to cry. I got freaking yelled at. My brother is a spoiled brat and now he's using it. I hate this. I feel terrible for OP because clearly everybody involved in this story do not care and would only show any amounts of caring only after OP does something to signify that it's theirs or tries to get their money back. Also, hi, I'm Steven, and if you can't get enough of hearing about these entitled parents, why not hit that subscribe button down below? That said, our next story is, am I the jerk for telling my mom to stop spreading my personal information? For some reason, am I the jerk won't let me post this, but I need to vent, so I'm putting it here. I, 20-year-old female, have recently suffered quite a severe injury. I don't want to go into too much detail, but I've had to come home from university and spent 4 or 5 days in and out of the hospital because of it. My memory is slightly fuzzy, so I don't exactly know how many days it was. I've been bedbound since I got home. Today, I had an appointment back at the hospital. As soon as I got downstairs and into the kitchen, my mom told me, "I'm having a really crappy day, don't argue with me." I literally hadn't said a word to her. While we were waiting for the appointment, I was in a lot of pain and my dad was rubbing my back and telling me I was going to be okay. My mom said, "What about me? Why aren't you supporting me?" She was also asking me about my uni situations and got annoyed when I said I didn't want to talk about it right now. It got me to the point where I had to go to the toilet and cry. On the way home, my mom started calling her friends because we were going to be late to pick up my little brothers, 10, from school and wanted to see if anyone could pick them up. This was when I found out that most of her friends, who I've not met, knew the details of the accident that caused my injury. I had told my mom early on that I didn't want many people to know about this because it was embarrassing. Once she was off the people, I asked her to stop telling people that because I wasn't comfortable. She told me she had freedom of speech and she could tell anyone she wanted whatever she wanted. More hurtful things were said and I ended up in tears. My dad agrees with me and says she's been in the wrong all day, but I feel guilty and awful. It might be because I feel horrible from the injury, but I don't know. Why is OP's mom so cold and uncaring to everything that's going on with OP? Whether it's how they personally feel or physically feel, they're just disrespecting you any way they can. This next story is, Fiancé told his dad that we were engaged, stepmother freaked out. So tonight my fiancé told his dad that we were engaged, and maybe an hour goes by, and he gets a message from his stepmother. She completely freaks out, telling him he should have told his little brother, who at the time was in bed, so he was going to tell him tomorrow. She goes on to call him and tell him that he can no longer come visit or see his brother anymore, and completely blanks after saying that his brother's mental health issues are mainly because of him being in a relationship and not visiting for Christmas when we were extremely sick with COVID. Anyway, that's a way to put a bit of a dull moment in a wonderful day. Not gonna lie, stepmother sounds a bit crazy. Our next story is, my parents make fun of me for wanting to go camping alone. I, 20-year-old female, am going camping with my boyfriend in a couple of days, just the two of us. It'll be the first time I go camping on my own, without my parents. Also, the last time I went camping was like 10 years ago, so I don't have much experience, but I've made an effort to get enough information. My parents are pretty experienced in this outdoor stuff, and I've been asking them for advice. But every time I try, their response is, "If you're already so grown up to go camping by yourself, shouldn't you know?" And they make jokes about how I'm going to starve to death or stuff like that. Today, I tried to pack a sleeping bag, which must be pressure packed, but I was having a hard time since my left hand is injured. I asked my dad if he could help me pack it for this one time since my hand won't allow it, but he and my mom just laughed as they watched me struggle. I know I'll have to do it on my own when I go on the trip, but I would have appreciated some help or advice on how to make it easier. I'm very tired of this situation, as every time I bring it up, they make jokes about how bad I'll do it and don't even try to encourage me or give me any helpful advice. They make me feel like I'm useless or like a child who wants to do adult things. The problem is that I am an adult. I don't know how to get them to take me seriously. I was really excited for this trip, and it hurts that they aren't happy for me. At least I know I won't starve to death, as they say. My boyfriend and I have everything we need and we're ready to go. Honestly, if I was in OP's shoes, this would kind of fuel me to try to be self-sufficient even more. When they crack jokes and try to belittle you and put you down, basically try to make you feel ignorant, there's nothing that drives me more to want to just prove them wrong. That would make me want to become the best darn self-sufficient camper possible. Although, that's probably too much effort. This next story is, my entitled foster family always claims my things as theirs. I replaced the items and have come prepared. So, I'm 15 years old and in the foster care system, and my current foster parents are quite manipulative. For example, they take stuff off me, and when I ask a while later, they say that they gave it back and I must have destroyed it for one of my silly TikToks. Yes, I destroy stuff for my TikTok, but typically that stuff is already broken and beyond repair, usually fished out of an e-waste bin. Note that in my situation, my foster parents are not the guardians. I have a social worker who is the guardian, and he barely contacts me, not gonna lie. Anyway, a recent incident was enough for me to start standing my ground. I had a Google Pixel that I received as a gift, and when I had a breakdown over an unrelated incident, they blamed it on my phone and demanded for it. Keep in mind, this is my phone and I've been paying the bills for the SIM card and so on. I refused, and they ended up calling the cops on me and claimed that the phone was stolen from them and wanted it to be returned. I had no proof of purchase when I was gifted it, so to avoid being arrested, I gave in and handed over the phone. They didn't even let me take out the SIM card because when I asked if I could, they refused because the SIM card was theirs and not mine, even though it was under my name and I've been paying for it. Long story short, I never got the phone back. So I got a phone to use temporarily, a Galaxy S5, and went to my cell carrier to get a replacement SIM, and I was happy with that after a while. My boyfriend decided to gift me a better phone, an iPhone 7, for my birthday recently, and knowing the foster parents, they were going to try the same tricks. So when he ordered it, I told him the situation and asked for screenshots of his eBay receipts and bank statements, saying that he purchased the iPhone. He sent them all to me and I saved them onto a folder on my phone as well as on iCloud. So if they get deleted, I still have them. I even have screenshots of my phone bills that has my name and info clearly visible on them. A few weeks into using this phone and nothing has arisen yet. But once something goes down and they try that little trick again, I'm gonna politely explain to the police what's been happening and show them the screenshots. I'll update you guys if they try playing that card again, but until then, bye. Isn't there like some kind of regulatory body when you're with foster parents that OP should be able to turn to and report this behavior? There's just no way that foster parents should be able to get away with stealing hundreds of dollars of devices from them. Our next story is, entitled child throws a temper tantrum when he doesn't get his way, then lies to his dad. Some background, my family was living in my grandma's house for a little bit because our house got flooded in the February floods. If you're Australian, you know how bad they were. My idiot uncle and his kid also live there when they're not at their mom's. Another fun story. I cannot stand being in the room with them for more than 10 minutes on my own. They are that bad. So now I've sort of set the picture, it's time for the story. I was downstairs in my bedroom cleaning, minding my own business, listening to music, when it just stops. I thought maybe my phone had died, so I turned around to put it on charge. But who do I see? Entitled child trying to unlock my phone. I said, "What are you doing? Give me that." They say, "I want to watch YouTube." I say, "Okay, you have an iPad and a phone. Watch it on those." They say, "No, my phone's too small and my iPad is dead." I say, "And? It's my phone. I don't have to let you use it." They say, "Yes, you do. Dad said I could use it." My uncle is the worst and just enables his kids and lets them do whatever they want. I said, I don't care. He didn't pay for the phone. I did, and I say no, and that's final. The kid absolutely lost it and screamed at me and started crying and throwing his arms and legs around like a toddler. He's 14. I'm just standing there like, what the freak? Nice cousin walks in and sees what's wrong, Ed's twin bro. They say, why are you screaming? Shut up, entitled cousin. Entitled cousin's screaming, because I want to watch YouTube on his phone and he won't let me. Me and nice cousin both just look at each other. Nice cousin sighs and says he could use his iPad instead. This shuts entitled cousin up and gets him out of the room. I thank nice cousin and go back to cleaning thinking that this is over. But nope. About an hour later, idiot uncle comes home and entitled cousin goes straight to him, saying that I took his phone and hid it and that I hit him when he tried to get it back. I just roll my eyes because I know what's coming. Idiot uncle says, why did you take entitled cousin's phone away? I say I didn't. He tried to steal mine and threw a fit when I wouldn't let him. He says, well, why didn't you let him then? I say, because I don't have to. It's my property and he has no right if I say no. Idiot uncle starts yelling that this is his house and it's his rules. I couldn't help but laugh at him. I said, your house? This is your mom's house. You have no right to tell me what to do. I'm not your kid and I don't have to do anything if I don't want. He stands there red-faced, glaring at me and then just walks away. It definitely left me confused that he just walked away, but that was it. I didn't hear anything after that. Nice cousin comes to me later to apologize and have a laugh about entitled cousin, but that's it. You know why idiot uncle just walked away? That's how they deal with stuff. They don't see things through. When they're challenged, they just give up and walk away. How do you think their kid ended up so spoiled? Our next story is, entitled mom calls children racist for not saving her children in a pool. Alright, I just recently remembered this story. It happened a few years ago, so I don't remember every detail, but I'll try my best. So me, 14-year-old male, and my friend, 13-year-old female, were in the pool at her apartment complex. And we were just talking, doing what kids do in a pool in the summer. There were these two other kids, I believe 9 to 12 years old in the shallow end. Keep in mind, these kids were not all the way there mentally. Then was their mom, 30 to 40, on the side of the pool not paying any attention to her kids messing with her hair. Well, me and my friend were talking, and I noticed one of these kids were trying to get over where we're at. I didn't pay much mind to it until I heard splashing and yelling. I look over and notice that the kid was trying to get over to me and my friend was struggling to keep afloat. I also noticed the mom who just stopped playing with her hair 10 seconds after the splashing started, coming over to the side of the pool and yelling at me and my friend to do something. Me and my friend are in shock from what's happening in front of us, so we're just frozen and watch what's happening. This mom continues to yell and pokes at her kid with a pool noodle and tells her kid to grab it. Finally, she gets her child out and then hurls slurs at me and my friend, calling us racists and saying we should end ourselves. After she throws more insults at us, she spits in the pool, grabs her children, calls us racist again, then leaves. After she left the apartment complex, the manager comes over and asks us what happened. We told her what happened and then she left. The mom comes back and proceeds to insult us again. Then she grabs her things, takes a picture of us, and leaves. We finally left the pool and told her mom and brother what happened. Turns out these two children are left unsupervised daily, and my friend's brother can count multiple times where they were in danger. Man, I'm almost wondering if this entitled mother doesn't want something to happen to their kids. If their kid literally cannot swim where they need to get rescued, and you're leaving them unsupervised daily? That's honestly worth a CPS call, isn't it? This next story is, I, female 15, want a relationship with my aunt/guardian, 37-year-old female. I want a good relationship with my guardian/aunt. My mom and dad aren't in the picture. My aunt adopted me when I was 11, and I've been living with her ever since. My aunt will not let me live at all. I've never had a phone, never was allowed to bring friends over or go to a friend's house, wasn't allowed at friends' quinceañera because she didn't know them. I've only been to one school football game. My life is in a box. On top of this, my aunt is so mean to me and says very hurtful things constantly. While I go through this, she gives her son the world and much more. I started seeing a boy in February. I didn't tell my aunt because I was terrified of her doing something. I got a trap phone and one day my aunt found out. I was treated horribly for 4 months, and I got all grades up to an A, cleaned everything, started a job for my guardian's financials. That led to going to homecoming with my boyfriend, who stuck it out and is truly an amazing person. One night we got antsy and we texted in a dirty manner. My aunt barged in and was saying, "I never did this. You're a horrible child," etc., etc. She forced me to break up with my boyfriend or else she'd homeschool me and I would never have a phone. Last thing my aunt knows is I cut off contact with him, but we both have feelings and it's just my aunt who won't allow. My uncle's aware and loves him, but since he isn't blood, he can't do much, I guess. I just want my aunt to be nice to me and let me have a life, not be Rapunzel. My boyfriend, 15-year-old male, is touching it out and being strong. Therapy isn't an option because of money at the moment. I feel for OP because they want a connection, but to me, I think this aunt sounds like the kind of person that will never allow such a thing to happen. They will shut down any kind of earnest talk. Our next story is, my mother is narcissistic and I don't know what I can do. My mother blames others for things that are her fault. For example, she plays political podcasts and smoked directly in front of me when I was doing my daily chores. She also rambled about the end of the world during late 2021 and early 2022. One day, on my bus ride to school, the podcasts bounced around in my head and I thought, why go to school when politics will make the world end before I get to use my education? So I got off the bus and started walking home when the principal stopped me before I got out of the town the school was in. She told my dad, but I told her not to tell mom because she would yell at me for things my younger brothers would do. She had to pry what I did out of me, and I think a normal mother would tell their kid that they'll stop playing podcasts in front of them. What she did was call dad and yell at him because she had to pry the information out of me. My parents divorced in August of 2022, and mom moved to an apartment complex while dad moved to a 2-story house with a basement. And that basement was a mess of cobwebs when he first moved in, but when it was clean, it was where I wanted to sleep to have a private bedroom, as I had to share my previous bedrooms with my brothers. In my mother's self-absorbed mind, that translated to me sleeping in a dirty basement. She wanted me to take pictures of the basement for court evidence, and I didn't want to, so she did what any alcoholic, narcissistic excuse of a mother would do. She threatened me to take the pictures. Then she had the audacity to say that I could have said no. Another day living with her is another day where I want to slam her into a wall. She made me take care of my younger brothers since 4th grade and I'm now in 9th grade. The reason I had to do that? So she could be on her phone for 3 hours and then sleep. One day, dad went to mom's apartment complex to repair something and she threatened to kick him down the stairs. I'm afraid of her because I think she might do the same thing to me and my brothers, just because we're biologically related to him. Another incident of hers was when it was my dad's turn to take care of us for the week, and he just wanted to have us for the morning after the weekend. Her response to that was to get drunk with her drinking buddy, drive to my dad's house, punch my stepmother in the face, and assault a neighbor who came over to see what was going on. And you want to know the best part of all that? We were a Christian family. My only escape is playing video games because then I can tune her out. My father's fighting for full custody and I hope he wins because he actually is nice to me and my brothers. I just need some advice on if there's anything I can do to try and get farther away from my mom. I have the option to report her with the help of my school, but I'm still unsure because I'm afraid that she'll know that I reported her even if it's anonymous. Please give me some help. I'm 15, so I can't move out. Although they would love to instill that fear in you and make sure you know they are to be feared and not to report them because of whatever retaliation, that's just what they want you to feel so they can control you. You need to report that behavior. This next story is drumming up funds. This story's been stuck with me for years. I wondered if it was an am I the jerk here situation because I feel like someone is the jerk, me or my mom, but I could never determine who. Backstory, I played steel drums in middle school. It was something I was really excited about and I was pretty good at them. After I finished middle school, we moved away, and the school I ended up in didn't have a steel drum program. I was pretty depressed after moving, so after some discussion, my mom decided to buy me some steel drums to restore my joy. I ended up getting them as a Christmas gift. I think I was 14 or 15. I played them for a long while and then I lost interest. It was mostly me not wanting to make too much noise in the house, the curse of being considerate. So for literal years, they sat in their boxes collecting dust. The event, fast forward to some point in college, I was recently unemployed and was also helping my sister recover from emergency surgery. I needed money, the job hunt was slow, so I figured in the meantime I could sell some stuff. The most valuable thing I had at the time was the drums. I did some research and found out how to put them on consignment. They weren't nearly worth as much as they were bought for, but some chunk of change was better than the nothing in my bank account. To answer the burning question you all may have at this point, no, I didn't tell my mom I was doing this. The drums were given to me as a gift, and my understanding of gifts is that you can do whatever you want with them. Anyways, the drums sold, and the music shop I consigned with sent a check to the house. The problem was I was staying at my sister's house at the time, 45 minutes away, and my mom had this cute habit of opening my mail. So the way I found out that my drums sold was via an angry phone call from my mom telling me the shop sent me about $500. She then followed it up demanding a cut of the profits, since she was in fact the one who paid for these drums all those years ago. I was a disgustingly obedient child, so I obliged. I think I gave her about $150, even though I really needed all the money I could get, but there was always this nagging voice in my head that kept saying I didn't know her crap. The voice has only gotten louder over the years, but I still feel a little guilty thinking it. Personally, I feel in no way should OP have felt obligated to give them any money at all. And also, why the heck is your mom opening up your mail? Our next story is that one kid on the slide. My uncle, his wife, and my parents went out tonight. Because my uncle and his kid were coming over here from Malaysia, they both wanted to go everywhere and have been traveling a lot out here. So my niece, she's 6, requested for us to go to the nearest park because it has a cool slide, while her parents and my parents went out. So we went, and wouldn't you know it, there was another kid who was probably a year older than my niece sitting on the cool slide she had mentioned earlier. She asked him politely to get off, but he just kept sliding down and climbing back up, hogging it. Then when she asked him again, he whacked her in the stomach with a stick. This really upset her. She was wearing her favorite shirt and her stomach got grazed, and I asked him to apologize and get off. His response was to smack me in the face, not with the stick, and swore at me and then threatened to punch my niece. Then he started crying and ran to his dad, who reprimanded us for being rude. His dad said we should have asked nicely and that we shouldn't have hit him, but we didn't. I then explained to him the situation, then he told me to knock it off and stop being such a jerk. He then made my niece say sorry for harassing his son and bought him an ice cream for being brave. He then refused to even give my niece's stomach a bandage, saying it was her fault, and his kid only did it in self-defense. I hate entitled parents. This just might be one of the most conventionally entitled parents I've heard of in a while, where their kid is going around being a bully, whacking other kids in the stomach, and then when called out on it, they go, "Oh, how dare you accuse my son? Here's an ice cream. Good job being so brave." This next story is, I'm not sure if I'm being emotionally abused by parents. Well, hello everybody. I'm 24-year-old female, and as the title says, I don't know if I'm being emotionally and financially abused by my parents, especially my mom. I'm living with them and my younger brother. We moved from our country to the US around 2 years ago. Let's just say that since I was a kid, I always had this complicated relationship with my mother. It was worse in my teens. They're both strict and conservative. I don't even know how to start, but a few weeks I was venting with my best friend, and she told me that I'm being emotionally and financially abused by my mom. My dad is the kind of man that he does what she tells, so I can't count on him that much. Since forever, every time my mom and I had an argument, she'll always say very crappy things to me and then give me the silent treatment. I've always been invalidated, blamed for everything, mocked for how I felt by them. One thing that she always says is, "You're not going anywhere with that attitude." She's always telling me that every time I'm mad at her and react, like I can't say no or try to defend myself. Even one time she accused me of being manipulative because I was crying after she said very bad things to me. "You don't care about your brother, you just want to be like those who-ares you call friends." When I was 14, the school therapist told them about my ending things thoughts, and they just mocked me. When I was 17, they pressured me to start studying in this college, even when I hated the career so much, and I told them many times that I didn't want to study it. She didn't like it when I changed careers, and I started studying psychology. Since 2020, life has been rough, and moving here to the US was a lot to me. I went to this therapist, and apparently many issues that I have is because my father was the kind of dad emotionally distant and absent, and my mom was always breathing on my neck wanting me to be like her. Recently we've been fighting a lot because I've been romantically involved with this guy that I met at work. I know it's risky. All of us work in the same place. A big, huge mistake. And I met this guy who I like very much. My mom noticed it and she hates him a lot. She says that I'm crazy, I'm rushing things, I don't love myself enough, or that the guy doesn't represent me at all. After Christmas, this guy invited me to the movies, and I told my mom if she could drop me off at the cinema on our way to work. The cinema's on the way to work. I don't have my own car, and she refused, saying that I should wait and not go out with him. That in a few months I'll have a bunch of guys chasing me when before him, I didn't have anyone at all. I can say that I don't have any friends here, so I've been hanging out with him behind her back. This last Tuesday, she found out I was hanging out with him and she was very pissed. Even my dad texted me that my mom was having a crisis at work. I hate that they think I'll be screwing with this guy or something. Even if we did, I'm a grown woman, like we're literally watching movies. He's very respectful, kind, and gentle. The sad thing is that my mom has this terrible mindset of purity and shame culture. Even at my age, she thinks I'm still a virgin, and because of that, I can't go to the gynecologist. Some months ago, I tried to open a bank account with some of the cash I'd saved, so I can have my money there, but something happened, and I can't do online deposits. Something about a risk score. So if I want to deposit my checks, I have to go to the bank. So I've been depositing my checks on my mom's account. I know, I was stupid. Every time I want to spend my money, she'll start asking a bunch of questions and talks me away to not spend a thing. Now I can't use it because she hides the debit card, and I know she'll start a huge argument if I ask for it. And every time I have used my money, she made me feel guilty, like if I want to buy something, I have to think a lot. Sometimes she gets angry at me when I use my money and not hers to buy some stuff. The other night, she made me feel really bad about how I failed a course last semester. I can say that I've been feeling burnt out for months, and every week is more difficult to sit and study for me. My parents started talking that I can do this post-grad course and move to Orlando. And I'm like, can you please let me graduate first? I can say that I was basically forced to come here in the first place. I didn't want to move out of my country because of my career, but they didn't listen to me. And the day of the flight, they just threw all of my clothes in a suitcase and forced me to go with them. We were being kicked out of our rented apartment, and I didn't have another place to go. Sometimes they get very mad at me when I complain that my brother, who's 16, doesn't want to do anything on the house. He's very spoiled and he doesn't even boil water or anything. They get mad at me if I don't take care of him, but I always say he's not a little kid anymore. He could learn some things and be more self-sufficient. Like, they want me to be a second mother to him. They even act like I'm crazy if I say that one day I want to move out and live by my own. I can keep all night writing about this, but I don't know if it's enough. My best friends told me to get out of here and move out with some roommates, but I don't have enough money for that, and instead I've been saving for my own car. But now my mom has this idea of all of us changing works because she says so. I don't know what to do. Definitely need to get off that carousel, escape those awful parents, look out for yourself, and carve out the future that you want. But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today. Now, if you want to hear another absolutely crazy story of entitled parents, check out that video on the left. Or if you missed my latest video, check out that video on the right. That said, I'll see you all next time with some more stories.